Now we will move to the chapter number 15. It is a less difficult chapter. And last week I have given some questions which was previously asked in some of the CBSE 10th standard examination. So kindly find out that answers for that. Self find out. I have the answers with me, but I want you to read the textbook and come out with some answers. If you are finding any difficulties, let me know. I will give you or support you to find the answers. So today we moving to a small chapter, that is chapter 15, our environment, which you have already studied in lower classes. What are they and what is the importance of the environment, etc. So here we will be discussing on the basis of the biological perspective, that means angle through biology. In this chapter, we will be having a small discussion about these ecosystems, different types of ecosystems, then pollution. So, what are the importance of ecosystem? If the pollution is happened for in a more level, what will happen? So, what is life? And how we both, that means living and non-living, all of us are living together. How we these things are helping us. So these are the major things we will be discussing. So it's a very simple chapter with no much serious terms and terminologies, but as per of 21st century, as we're living in the 21st century, more concerns are there, because now we are having more problems towards the environment than any other things. For example, I am a teacher. Same, I am also a human being and an individual. You are a student. You are also a human being and individual. But even though after studying science, biology or physics or chemistry or any of the studies, we don't take care about our environment. Obviously, we all do mistakes, including me. We do mistakes. It's very simple mistakes, very simple mistakes. For example, plastics, use of plastic things, and it is nowadays it is very difficult to say no to 100 percentage towards the plastic, because whatever the useful materials that comes to the market, it is made up of plastics. So why they are going to the plastics is because of the cost. Plastics are very costly, very they can get plastics in a very cheap price, so and they can produce a very good product. And plastics can be molded into different forms, shapes, size according to their need, so it is very easy. So that is why if you see many of the toys, even though mobile phones, the cheaper mobile phones, that means which is coming in 10,000 to 20,000, which most of the Indians, common Indians, including me, are using. So these things are coming, and you know that one of the worst effect of plastic is this plastic has even reached to the lower form of organisms. That means bacteria, that means protistants and all. They are the very basic things that exist in our environment. If these protistants and these planktons, which includes plankton, zooplanktons, those microscopic organisms, if they are infected with the effects of plastic, then obviously don't think about us. Our plastic is already introduced into our food chain. So it is going to cause a very severe ill effects to us in the coming years. We are not much concerned about that. And you see the entire earth atmosphere, it is heating up because of carbon dioxide or some other forms of gases. And if you see in the southern India, where the rainfall is more high, more heavy and more high compared to the northern part of India, especially to Haryana I am talking. Other part, there are some parts are there where we receive good amount of rainfall. The amount of rainfall is depleting day by day. Depleting means it is getting into reduced form day by day. So it is very tough to survive. And if humans, we don't have this environment with us, the survival of the human, sometimes human species may extinct also. Maybe if we go like this without caring the environment for another 50 to 60 years, and many of the scientists also had said about this, the human species will extinct from face of the earth by 2050 by seeing this concern. But we don't know whether we will extinct or not, we don't know. But each and every government and all over the India, they have all over the world, they have taken different measures to protect this environment from this harmful. And one of the basic thing I will tell you, for example, one country known as Australia, you know that it is in oceanic area, east, it is in the, as per the direction, it is towards the east of India. When you go to Australia, each and every company, they have to pay carbon tax. The system is very simple. As we are getting the meter readings through electricity, each and every manufacturing companies, they have government has put a meter there, and the government is taking reading how much amount of carbon dioxide and other poisonous gas this company is expelling out. So, and a minimum grade is given. For example, in the even in electricity also, it is given that if a family is using only 110 or 120 watts or 120 kilowatts, some range is there, they have to pay only the minimum. And if you are increasing that level to next slab, higher slab, more like that, it electricity meter reading and pricing is designed like that. Same way there. So they have given different levels. So if the company is producing, manufacturing and exhausting out more carbon dioxide, they have to pay carbon tax, and the carbon tax is very huge. And the manufacturing companies, you know that they don't want to spend more in production, but they want to sell the product in MRPs, what is the government fixed price, then take profit from that, establish the company. That is why these companies are in the rural areas. Companies are not there in the urban areas. You will never see any big manufacturing companies in Delhi. You can see these manufacturing companies in Haryana, that means Gurgaon. Not in Gurgaon. It is somewhere near to Manesar, and the Rohtak also, near to the Rohtak you have. So that is why these plants are established in those areas. So they don't want to pay much. So if the government is inputting carbon tax, so they have to give extra money or extra tax for liberating or exhausting this carbon outside. So carbon dioxide we have to protect. If carbon dioxide is expelled out or exhausted out from these companies and these vehicles, so with that there will be other gases also, like carbon monoxide and other gases, oxides of sulfur, those things will be there. There is no doubt. So it is harming our environment. So it is questioning our survival also. So if you see some of the examples, those are living in the city sites, in the urban areas, maximum people are having disease. Some sort of disease, anything, but they have no relief from that even after taking medicine. So these are maximum time this is possible, it is happening because of their lifestyle. They don't have any contact with the environment. They are taking adulterated food, exercise everybody are doing, but more pollution. And many of the people, those who are living in Delhi, they have breathing problem. This breathing problem comes because of air pollution. The main reason for air pollution is this exhausted carbon dioxide from the vehicles and from the chimneys, etc. Many of the areas it is. So it is very important for us to protect this environment. So we will be discussing little bit about these things in this chapter. So if you see that whenever we have discussed about the life processes, that is the first chapter for the from the biology point of view. There is no life without this environment. If environment is not giving us anything, our survival will be big question. We will not survive properly. We will not survive properly. So let us be have internet, let we have library, let we have a business, let we have a job, government job or private job. Whether you have jobless, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If and you consider like this in future, uh, for oxygen, if the government is going to put tax, think like that. Already this system is in under government talking in the big developed countries to put tax for oxygen also, but nobody agreed with it. So think about that, how much we have to earn per month to pay just for breathing. If you don't breathe, then what is the use of this money and food and other things? So this is the very harmful thing what we are doing here. And you know that substances are coming in the two forms, degradable and biodegradable and non-degradable. Biodegradable means which can be converted into smaller forms by the action of bacteria and the earthly forms into simpler and smaller. Biodegradable means which is not at all possible to convert it into simpler or a useful form. The best examples are plastics are coming inside that. So this you have studied in the lower class. So inside this we will be discussing about ecosystem. What is this ecosystem and what are its components? Ecosystem means the relation between a living and a non-living. That means how the living and non-living interacting together. That particular system is known as an ecosystem. For example, we take as human. We human, we are living, but there are many non-living things are around us, including doors, walls, many things are there. How we are interacting to them, that particular surrounding or particular area wherever it is considered as an ecosystem. Clear? So there are different types of ecosystems are possible. We have the forest ecosystem, grassland ecosystem, river ecosystem. Then we have the ice ecosystem, that means the frozen ecosystem, ocean ecosystem. So there lot of organisms are there. They are interacting each other. That means living and non-living are interacting each other for their survival. So these are called as ecosystem. And non-living things are many that helps in our survival, and we are supported living and non-living at a time, both together also. That also can be considered as an ecosystem. So this is what as ecosystem means. And in this ecosystem there are few things that are very important. In ecosystem there should be a producer, and because this ecosystem is 100% lying on a concept known as energy flow. That means energy means what is the capacity to do some type of work. So in my body I have work, breathing, digestion, thinking, jumping, running, this, that, that's a work. For that I need energy. So in order to get this energy, there should be a producer. There should be a producer. There should be a consumer. And in all the ecosystem, the total number of producers must be more than the total number of consumers. If the producer is more and the consumer is less, not much less, okay, average and above if it is, that ecosystem is an healthy ecosystem. Or any ecosystem where consumers are more and producers are less, they are unstable in nature. Anytime they will be destroyed. For example, now you think about an ecosystem where you are living, there is no plants. Your survival will be very difficult. You have to move from that place. So that is the main thing. So there should be a producer, there should be a consumer. So each and every ecosystem, there are different types of producers. For example, when we are taking the terrestrial ecosystem or a grassland or a forest, there are plant species, that means a green color components which are having, they are responsible for producing the things. And even when you go into the land, sorry, water, for example oceans or fresh water or backwaters or marines, if you're going there, there are also producers are there. We have algae there, green color algae. So they do the fixation of this energy, and they are eaten by the different organisms, and energy will be flown through the system. And finally, whatever the energy they have produced, that will come back to the system. That means there is a plant is there, that plant is eaten by, leaves are eaten by a deer, and that deer is eaten by a tiger, or that deer is eaten by a human. We take some energy, but finally after whatever the total net production of energy will be zero. That means once the energy is taken in, sometimes little bit of the things will be come back also. I'm actually to the system. So that particular thing is known as, that means in any ecosystem there should be a producer, there should be a consumer. Is it clear? And in this activity, that is 15.5, there are the different types of questions are given. So please go through that, because there are given some questions like aquarium, where the artificially we are making fishes to live, that means ornamental purpose. So there, who is the chief producer, who is the consumer? So these things, this you have to keep, you have to study. And in active 15.4, there it is. So even in all the ecosystems, when you are seeing, there are two main fundamental unities there. One is known as the food chain and the food web. Food chain means it is a chain like process. One producer, from that producer, one consumer will be taken, that consumer will be taken by one person, finally the decomposers will act. That particular chain is not a food chain. And you can see here one diagram they have given here of a tiger, deer, then of one tree, then they have given grass, then they have given the pond ecosystem where algae are eaten by the smaller, then fish is eaten by a bird. So that particular, it is a unidirectional, that particular structure of flow of energy, if you are representing, is known as food chain. And next one is food web. And you see this food web, many different chains, food chains are interconnected. That particular representation of flow of energy is known as the food web. And you see here, this energy flow can be marked in the form of tropic level. Tropic level means different energy level. Tropics means the layer, different layers. So it can be represented as in a form of a pyramid. So the base of the pyramid is a producer, they are the base. And primary consumers, that means the first person who consume, then tertiary consumer, then secondary consumer, tertiary consumer, like that. This can be, this primary producer, secondary consumers, tertiary consumers, this may change. Some ecosystem there will be primary, secondary, tertiary. Some ecosystem there will be only primary and secondary. So like that it will be change, keep on changing. And what they have found out is, scientists have taken found out through through experiments. Okay, that means from each and every tropic level. For example, I will tell you, if the producers are producing 1000 kilojoule of energy, consider, for example, consider, from that 1000 kilojoule, only 10 percentage of the energy will flow to the primary consumer. Clear? And from the primary consumer, only 10 percentage will go from the to the secondary consumer. From the secondary consumer, only 10 percentage of energy will be going. So this is on the basis of experiments what they have did. So there may be up and downs in the flow of energy. Average they have calculated and said it is the 10% of energy. And the flow of energy is unidirectional. It will flow even though it will come back. Flow of energy will be unidirectional in form. Am I clear? So producers, chiefs are the producers, then primary, secondary, tertiary, food web, food chain. So please go through this, and if there is any doubts you are having, please reply back. Thank you.